recording now. So this is the battle between Ungrim and Logan. What's your lord's name? Chair holder? Chair baby?
Chair baby.
Yeah, the chair baby.
What's this guy's name though? The chair holder?
No, he's the chair holder, yeah.
And then 2 armies of Whistleland and Nuln. All right, Ian. All right.
Okay, so just to kick off, I just had a couple starting questions, or mostly just one starting question for Cody, going off of our setup here. So I know that we noted, so your 2 Hochland long rifles that you have here in the woods, they are not benefiting from their snipe right now. Was that something you noted, and the position was just
okay? So there was literally nowhere we could put that would give them a good view that was camo, because those trees, like, you would hover the tree and it was like, all right, so that gives you stealth, but not enough.
Gotcha.
So we were kind of like, we'll put them a little bit in the trees so that maybe it'll possibly block any incoming artillery fire, but we thought that was like the best of a worst situation.
Gotcha.
And then Joel had control over basically everything on the east side defense.
Could they not sit, like where James is circling right now, could they not sit there facing towards the artillery? Was it not letting you place them there by any chance?
We could, but they wouldn't have had like a downward angle on anyone approaching, and their range wasn't enough to get over to where the artillery was. It would only get to about the bottom of the rocks.
Gotcha.
So
okay. Because another thing I was thinking when I was looking at it, I was going back. I was like, putting them there. Like, I know they wouldn't, like you said, they wouldn't be able to shoot anything close. But if that artillery pushed up, they might have been able to shoot. I was also wondering if, like, you could have maybe put some of your mortar carts in those woods, but I don't know.
Well, the mortar carts are stalk sniped anyway. Remember?
Right. But as like like in hindsight, it's like if they got discovered, but. As we will see, that it was not on the radar that it would be easy for them to be discovered. So that was just my opening stuff.
I've got a lot of these battles like a little bit mixed up. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one where I didn't know about Ulrika.
Yes. Yeah, this is where Ulrika pulled up. I don't think I really have the only commentary on your starting positions, James, are self-evident and self-explanatory almost immediately. So we can just go ahead and proceed. My first timestamp is it's 1:11. Yeah. So we can go ahead and start playing.
Cody, I think it's safe to say, and I think Joel summed this up when we tried to do this initially, but your plan here is just kind of wear us down with the mortars, right?
Well, initially it was to first and foremost was to try and smoke as much of your like artillery and stuff that's dangerous to me with the mortars, and keep you from advancing, because if we can get rid of your artillery, I thought that we had like a pretty good defensive position if you had to come to us. The only obstacle there was that artillery was going to chew us up and spit us out. So I was trying to get rid of that as quickly as possible before the second army got on the field and really got positioned. Gotcha. And not knowing about Ulrika, that honestly just took my plan, flipped it over, and gave it to me.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the crux of my plan is Ulrika has unspottable, stalk, and snipe. And then this mortar has stock and not mortar, Grand Cannon,
yeah.
Dwarf Cannon has stock and snipe as well to kind of counter.
Oh, I didn't know about that either.
The Outriders.
That and your organ guns have dig in, right?
Yes.
So they actually have quite high range.
They will go up to this exact same. No, they go up to 420. It's a little lower than the cannons.
But still very, very high for how devastating their firepower is.
Yeah. And then
I did know that they were going to have the increase. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you first. What's up?
I did know that they were going to have that increased range, but I just didn't think it was going to matter with the stock snipe. So the very first time I saw that little red line show up of them getting ready to fire, I was like, wait, what?
Right. And then pretty much everything else here is like, these guys are here to kind of screen for if you come up too close. These are all Thunderers. And
we fucking knew you were dug into those woods, but we just couldn't get close enough to do anything about it.
And then Garagrim's over here on the side quest. We'll get into that later. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. Yeah, and you said what was the timestamp, Ian?
Yeah, so 1:11 is when we first start things get happening. The mortars are gonna start firing shortly before that. But yeah, like Cody, obviously as Cody was saying, that is his plan. Those mortars are immediately move up.
And I did have them spread out because I didn't want them too clumped up. So if one got discovered, the others could kind of keep firing.
Right, exactly. Can you spin around real quick, James? Is the mortar that was on the hill moving?
Which one?
Turn a little bit more to the left.
I did have one back there.
There, did it push up more to your left, I believe?
Oh yeah, these guys.
Okay, so yeah, okay, they were moving. Okay. No, they're not moving. They're just sitting still. Okay.
So yeah, and I purposely put these guys in a long formation with the hope that I would just be able to have you miss enough for me to do what I was trying to do.
There it is. Yep, there's Ulrika. Oh my, I had no idea.
Watch how close she gets to you. Unspottable is very potent. Like, she gets in your fucking grill before. She doesn't even get spotted.
So you knew that those stealthed fucking... Damn. Oh, that's what was happening to them. I had no idea. No, this is crazy.
So then so minute 11, it takes about 28 seconds for these guys to fully die. It's a minute 11 to a minute 39. They start getting shot.
Yep, that was the surprise Pikachu face for me.
Yep. Yep.
That
you
right
see they
there.
start to pull around. And that extra range that those organ guns have is what kills them, because that extra range keeps them in their, like, still within range to shoot. Which they actually fire a little past their line, I saw.
Yeah.
It's the line that they'll start shooting, but once the projectiles
but they can fire a little farther past that, yeah. So
now,
at this point, there's people just kind of chill.
Yeah, now I'm trying to scout out the other one. And this happened, by the way. I don't know what this was. There was something going on with that tree. Did you see when it happened?
You have something that targets something right there at one point.
Could you see that?
I watch it happen.
Like, it shows a unit card for a second, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. I don't know if he has something unspottable there, and it's doing this. So I'm like, all right, cannons, blow that shit to pieces. I don't know what's there.
But yeah, so what you're not hearing right now is me having an absolute fucking panic attack in voice chat with Joel right now, going, what the fuck? How did he see it? I don't know what's going on. He's like, how did he see you and blow you up? I was like, I don't know. That's my whole fucking point.
Yeah, Ulrika does spot out the other two mortar wagons right about now. However, they do pull back before they can start getting focused by the artillery. Mostly because the organ guns had to move, so they lost that range boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Logan's guys are pouring in now, too.
Yep.
Yeah, and at this point, I am just broken.
Yeah, and this right here, this is one. Yeah, the Kadai came in. They started getting firing. This, I did find. So this actually didn't fully wipe any of those free company. Barely. Like, each of them only had like one or two models left, but they did all live. They just all shattered. So I just thought that was interesting. I was like, well, I can't believe any of them survived that, considering how low they already were.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a lot of fire. Like, yeah, you see this is like, the Hawklands are really cooking a lot in this battle. Like, you see all the damage that the Great Taurus is taking. There's some good damage going on. I believe that's Gore does.
Yeah, weirdly enough, like a lot of my kind of left side defense worked out kind of how I had intended it. It's just every other part fell to pieces.
And this is around here, all the Wolf Raiders, I did notice, and Logan, you can comment on this since these are your units. They did around here, starting around 3 minutes or so, started pushing up hard, putting vision on anything that was stalked, keeping the mortar wagons back and not firing, stuff like that.
It waited a long time to fire. What the hell?
What I really wanted to do, because I knew that my Wolf Raiders weren't really going to trade well
James, can you get
in terms of like trade well into the Outriders or like actual artillery, etc. I just wanted to use them to give myself time, because like usually when I'm playing, I like to try to kind of overwhelm like the senses, to be honest, and it allows me to push my artillery up, as well as like kind of give myself a chance to kind of see what's going on in terms of like stocked stuff. So I kind of wanted to try to stop anything that could possibly hurt my approach, because like the Hawklands and the riflemen on the hill were giving the Baltors a problem. So I just use their speed, because I know that most of this army is ranged, and if you can like stop the ranged like firepower, then it gives me the chance to kind of set up my artillery. So I was really just trying to, because I remember James when he's like, he's like, your units are kind of all in there. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, like I just want to kind of stuff this out so I can move my artillery without any like real problem.
Yeah, and it is very worth noting that as much damage as these guys do take while they're clumped up right here, obviously I don't know. You don't have to say how much of their defensive buffs they've got from Gore does, but Gore does buff them up so significantly. So it's very easy to think about how much more damage they would be taking without, like, yes, they got Armor of Contempt, they got the Gore does buffs, so they are much beefier and much more capable of doing this kind of disruption tactic.
Yeah, he gives a fair amount of missile resistance.
It's like 25%, I think, fully upgraded.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty nasty.
I don't think it would have made a difference. I am a little surprised at how long the Free Company militia took to get that first volley off.
I think they were at an awkward angle. I think I looked, and the angle is slightly awkward. I was
kind of hoping that they would soak it, and then the silver bullets would be able to shoot to pieces anything.
They do get some very good volleys off. Real quick before you hit play, though, James, worth noting, this is where I had a couple timers set up because I knew these two things took a little bit. So we have two things that came in. Those right in the back, we have the Warplock Jezzails that just came in about 10 seconds ago. So, and they come in and for some reason immediately face backwards, but they are left inactive for a while. I've got a note of when they move. So that's where we're watching how long the Warplock Jezzails sit in the back. And then also this is around the same time Gargrim starts moving. He started, like I said, still like 10, 15 seconds ago. They actually came in. They came in and he started moving at about the same time, I noticed.
Go
ahead.
Unfortunately, after the literally from the moment that your organ guns chewed up that first mortar wagon unit, I had been on the back foot and never managed to like
get back settled.
Like not untilt necessarily, because I wasn't like
unclench.
I was what's the word,
like
frazzled. Yeah, well, like, yeah, because I wasn't able to figure out the answer to question 1 before everything else started happening. It was so rough.
Like how did they get shot? And then all the battle just kept going.
And then the battle just kept going, and that's why those I think it was several units sat back there. It wasn't just those. Several got kind of left for a while.
James, can you double check for me what all does Gargrim have? I know he has stalk and snipe from the armor. Does he have unspottable as well?
He does not have unspottable.
He does not. He just has the stalk and snipe.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the other timer of like seeing how long does it take Gargrim to get where he's going. Because it does take a minute.
That dude went on a journey like he's playing like vanilla WoW. He's got a quest going all the way to the end of Duratar to come back.
Yep.
I sent him to fucking take the ring to Mordor here.
I believe it takes him about 3 minutes of running the entire time to end up getting to where he's going. Which ultimately ended up not being an issue, but it was definitely... Yeah. Poor buddy was not able to get in the mix until very close to the end.
Well, I kind of figured if I just I'd either be holding him back and not getting anything out of him at all, or I could try to just like if he dies, he dies. I'll just try to get some high value shit while when he gets there eventually.
Right.
So.
Okay. I don't have another aside from just general note of like, as we saw with the Great Taurus, they're getting chewed up. So Empire gunpowder still very potent, even on the back foot, still putting out some pretty good damage. Like if you hit play and watch these Wolf Raiders, they get chewed up pretty bad. Like you got
with a mortar shot too.
Yeah, mortar shot coming in. You got the fire shots coming in from the silver bullets. Part of it is also, and we've noticed this before, there are some Hawklands standing inside the silver bullets, and that can cause some disruption with their ability to fire.
Nice.
That was
a good Wrath of Zar coming through.
And I do manage to catch these Empire Knights in at least Reichsguard in a Pit of Shades, which goes pretty well.
Yeah, because as they run up towards the Free Company farther up the hill. But on the whole, gunpowder still online, still shooting stuff that it can see and still being fairly devastating. But Let's see.
A rough part of this battle is even the units that put out a lot of damage, I don't think anything got completely wiped.
Yeah. So big Pit of Shades comes down here around this exact same timestamp of 5:10. Real quick, James, if you can pause for me, is when we've got happening in two places. We've got the Steam Tank and the Iron Demon, both kind of pushing up and both suffering pretty heavily from focus fire on both sides. They take damage for as
Dude,
tanky
the
as they are.
shield breaker is actually really nice on my Iron Demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shield breaker is fantastic, and like all the AP focus fire coming through. Both of these war machines are about to take damage for a little over a minute. They tank a lot, and at the same time, over on the hill, we have Gorduz and some of his Wolf Raiders. The Wolf Raiders made it up first, and you see Gorduz coming up right there on the right, and he spends, I think, almost the entirety of the rest of the battle up here.
Yeah, on the left side.
Gumming up just a ton of units.
I will point out, I am a little frustrated because this is my first time being able to go back and rewatch it. Mm-hmm. And I had asked Joel like to block that entryway. I didn't realize that he kept the units in the trees until you were all the way up.
So that he mostly, I think, gums up a lot of like all the spearmen and swordsmen go on him. These Wolf Raiders unfortunately don't last too long. Like as much as they are buffed up, they do kind of get chewed by spears with the anti-large.
That and fighting in the forest as well.
Fighting in the forest, so they've got their debuffs. Yeah, they got the debuffs from being large.
Because I remember telling James, I told James, because while it is really nice that mortars, they have like, the stock and snipe, you can actually see where the mortars actually originate from, like the cannons flying in the air. So when I saw like something from the hill coming from there, I was like, I think I told James I gotta push up into here and try to find those wagons. And I knew that I think my raiders would get fucked up, but as long as Gorduz can get in there and he can like do his summons and stuff, I wanted to try to like kind of start collapsing that side and you'll see later, to get James's party bus of fucking slayers like going up. I wanted to try to get to the Hawklands, because that's what was giving me, I think, the most grief in this game was the Hawklands. And so I was like trying to like get into that position, like maybe stop them, because when my raiders were getting hit, I feel like it might have been a misplay, but at the same time it was good to get them out of there. But when they blobbed up and then got shot in the back, it was like really rough.
Oh yeah.
But I think in the end it was a decent play, because I think they would have gotten mowed by the I think, what were they, the Knights of the Black Rose? It was like an ROR.
There's some Reiksguard. There's an ROR Reiksguard that comes.
Oh yeah, Zilla's Reiksguard.
Yeah.
So James, if you'll go back over to the place where I guess Gorduz and that one unit of things are. So my intent, if like push the camera back just a little bit. You see how there's that like gap in the rock? My intent was for Joel to just plug that with infantry and make a fucking meat shield.
Yeah.
And I guess that
didn't. A little miscommunication.
Yeah.
It's hard when stuff is going on. Like I remember I felt bad because like during it's a battle that doesn't even pertain to this, but it has to do with like communication between players. But I remember like I was like telling James like multiple things. I was like, James, this is happening, because I feel bad because I feel like I tend to overwhelm. And he's like, I know what's going on. I'm like, well, I'm telling you what's going on. Like, just like.
I remember
sometimes
that was the
things get lost in communication, or it's just like there's so much shit happening. Like you don't even know what the other person's saying.
That was the siege battle where I almost lost to organ guns. I remember that because I was like, I'm sorry, Logan. But yeah, just a little miscommunication here.
And also like it being Joel's like first like kind of experience with PvP, like also not really knowing what probably Chaos Dwarves or Dwarves are really even capable of. He's only really played with Kislev, so he maybe doesn't know like a lot of the stuff going on.
Right.
A lot of learning experiences, yeah.
Yeah, and there is a lot going on here. Like just zooming it out like this, and I know that when I saw these Warplock Giselles, I'm like, I know exactly what's happened here because I know it's the unit card smushed into a little sliver and just like not being able to keep track of it. So it shit happens.
I've been making it a thing where, like, while things are happening, I kind of accept where if I'm pushing something into a position, I know what I'm hoping for it to do, which is why sometimes, like, it was actually a misplay on the Bale Tours to send it that far in, but I was also moving everything else in other directions because I'm like, what I want my Bale Tours to do is where I sent it. I'm like, hopefully it'll do this, but then I start to look down. And if I notice any of the unit cards have like, that sleeping like Z, I'm like, okay, I gotta click it and send it somewhere to at least get it rolling to them where I can use it later.
The I still say just one of the greatest like quality of life changes they could make would be to stack the unit cards.
Yeah.
Like do like half a unit card if you have more than 20 and just start a second stack above it. And then also remove unit cards that you have given to someone else, like put them in a separate tab or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love that.
So
anyway,
around here, I'm trying to get the steam tank off the field with my artillery. And I do end up losing. I think it's this unit of organ guns here.
Yeah. They're sitting there trading fire with the steam tank.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
go ahead and play.
Hit play. So he's taking a lot of fire on the Iron Demon. We had a pendulum come through here and do a lot of damage
juicy
there.
pendulum, juicy pit of shades.
Mortars coming in.
Oof! Look at that damage on the demon.
Yeah, he's getting pieced up. But the tank is also taking a lot of damage.
Yep, that's the thing is that it happens, and it's barely by a sliver. The steam tank does die here on its way out. The Iron Demon doesn't, but not by a lot. The Iron Demon does a little bit more coming back and forth and gets very low. But we have I think those are the Death Jacks, I think.
The White Wolves.
Oh no, the White Wolves, there's the Huntsman ROR are coming in, but the steam tank tries to turn around, and it's out of range of the organ guns, but it was still getting hit by the stock sniped cannons.
Which I did not know about until we started today.
Yep. One of the other MVPs of that battle.
Yep, doing a lot of work, just kind of slowly and steadily, just kind of hit.
And there he is. And I'm going to pause really briefly because I see where he's at. Garagrim is almost to where he needs to be.
He's getting there. He still has about another minute before he finally makes it.
So Plague Claws are closing in. Same for
they're closing in.
I remember when I saw those Plague Claws, I was trying to make it a thing where and I know some people like to fully focus fire something, but I was like trying to spread the Hell Cannon's damage everywhere because Hell Cannons cause leadership drops. So I was like trying to like hit leadership anywhere around the field, kind of like spread out as like units are dying and passing through each other if they're not expendable. That's like a multiplier, like a force multiplier of leadership issues.
That's true. But you'll see they're going to come into when the Plague Claws come into range. I think they started getting shot at about 656, and they do not last long once they start getting focus fired. It is, however, it doesn't fully kill their crew. They are just going to lose all of the models. So we go one shot, one down, then it hits the crew. But about every volley destroys one of the catapults.
Some good damage onto the barrier of that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cav pushing up. Yeah, like they haven't even started shooting yet, and they've lost 2 of their models.
Of note is I hadn't looked at this point in the battle over to see how things have been going with Joel yet, and so I didn't know that Gordes was up in our shit yet.
Yeah,
and it's right about now that Garagrim is actually getting close. So Garagrim is making contact about now. Yeah,
he's finally made it to his spot. He's doing his thing. And then I don't know if they are or aren't. Are the Death Jacks, like, do they have, or whatever they are, the Winter Wolves? Do they have like stock on them? Because I remember like putting my blunderbusses on the on the hill, and my leader, like I try to put a single entity in front of my like black powder because they'll mostly shoot through him, but he'll at least be either someone who is like trying to see, or if maybe someone is trying to intercept my black powder, I like to keep a single entity in front because then he can either sacrifice himself for the sake of that unit or see like other units.
Yeah, they have stalk snipe, and I had clicked for them to do something, I guess attack someone or move to a position, and then got distracted by other shit going on. I think it was actually the fucking dwarf jumping out of nowhere and beating the crap out of my Jezzail. I was like, oh god, what the fuck?
They're
the
behind.
Jezzail sit there for a while.
I'm not gonna lie, these poor winter wolves get
they get
pieced up.
I completely forgot about them. They were outside of my zeitgeist at that point. I'm sitting here trying to control the camera with my WASD keys.
But the Jezzails get focused for almost another minute.
Oh, then I had to have been something else I got distracted by.
Oh yeah, so okay, Gargrim has now been redirected to run towards the cannons.
Horses.
There it is. Yeah, because he chops on them for a while, and then he moves over that way. But at this point, a lot of mobility things are pushing forward. The war wagons are basically unable to stay in a stalked position and make use of their snipe. So they're just doing a lot of having to pull back.
And
the static position on the hill is still under assault from Gorduz. He's just all blobbed up.
But the party bus is approaching.
Yep, and all the Slayers are finally pushing towards the hill. It is around... Yep, there we go. So he finally got going. It's still about another 15 seconds for the Jezzails to move.
This has been educational about how certain things happened. The Gorduz situation and the stalk snipe cannons were two things.
Iron Demon almost gets picked here after it gets shot, but it does get immediately turned around, which saves its life. Because it was getting shot, but it does turn back around. The Jezzails are now finally active, taking shots at Gargrim. So they were inactive for about 4.5 minutes total, which is unfortunate.
I don't think that would have changed anything.
Probably not, but it's just noting. It's all things in hindsight. They might have been able.
Other thing I did not know about was the stalked hero.
Yes. Yeah. Ulrika, like it's evident. We've seen
about, it. Y'all told me about Ulrika. I'm talking about this dwarf that.
Gargrim coming around. Yeah.
I just kind of looked up and there was a dwarf beating on my dudes, and I was like, what the fuck? Where'd you come from?
But the Slayers at this point push all the way up. They just kind of slam up in here into the hill position.
It's a legit party bus. Like they all line up, like going up, like it's a field trip. It's like a bunch of fucking kids on a field trip.
I wish that gap would have flowed.
It is a good thing that the mortars are offline at this point, or mostly offline, because that would be a juicy target of them all just kind of pushed up like that.
Yeah, that was my primary focus, is just have Wolf Raiders giving me vision on the mortars while I use Hell Cannons, because Hell Cannons are like, I think, some of the best artillery in the game because they like seek toward the target.
They're very good.
Right.
But
anything with seeking is really, really good.
But that's why I held the Slayers back, because I'm like, these guys are going to be a liability if they just try to bum rush a ranged line or an artillery line. Like, they're basically...
Which was the whole point, which... If we'd had that gap plugged, I feel like the mortar probably could have done some
army losses went in. Well, I mean, and this is actually one of the thing I noted kind of on here, and this is always the issue. If you have artillery on both sides, right, that is significant, that is potent, it's a range. It is a matter of who maintains the superior range, and as soon as you can nullify or either completely nullify or be able to nullify enough that your range is superior, that's what kind of wins the day.
Right, exactly. And that was kind of the point of my whole strategy, was the act of having stalk snipe on the mortars, them being decent range artillery with my range buffs, and then also having the high mobility of the carts, was supposed to play on that exact strategy of it gives you like simulated range, the effective range from which you can be targeted. And so
for sure,
to have that entire like dichotomy just turned on its head was so like jarring.
Right. This is true.
And we don't actually manage to get anything important here killed, I don't think. I know the Lord gets out because Ulrika and Gordos are doing the dance of doom upon him.
They're just pushing him.
And I'm like, Garagrim, get him! Go! Take him out! And then it ends. So, me 1 second. Let me finish this YouTube, like, outro, I guess. So, that was this battle. The battle, big battle between Ungrim, Chairbaby, and Cody's forces of Whistleland and Nuln. If you like that, we stream these big 8-man PvP campaigns every Sunday at noon EST. Check that out, twitch.tv/spoons112. We also play on Fridays. That campaign kind of varies. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hail the Dark Prince.